Hi, everyone. This is Eddie. We're pet sitting him, and he's a 12-year-old mixed breed, half poodle and half dachshund. Doesn't look like it, does he? Anyway, oop, did I scare you? Eddie wants to take a little nap, but I wanted you to meet him because I'm doing a video about how to pet sit. So let me put him down. Okay. So, some of you who follow me on Facebook, and if you don't yet, send me a friend request on Facebook because I post about our adventures quite a lot. And my 15-year-old twins and I, we've been world schooling for almost 8 years, for most of the last 8 years, off and on, mostly on. And lately, we have been pet sitting around the UK. And I've been posting pictures and videos of our adventures, and people are asking how to get into pet sitting. So I wanted to do a video to explain it to you all, those of you who are interested. I have a referral code that will give you a 25% discount off of Trusted Housesitters, which is the platform that we use. It's the largest in the world. It's actually based in the UK, and it's really popular also in the US, a little bit in Canada, Australia, and those are kind of the main countries. You can find pet sits in Europe and other continents, but it's especially popular in the UK and the US. And we joined because, for nearly 7, 8 years, we were world schooling without ever pet sitting. We would just rent an Airbnb or, booking.com, or just, sometimes I would sign a lease if we were going to stay in a place for 4, 5, 6 months. And a lot of my friends have been house sitting and pet sitting, world school friends. And we haven't yet because, again, we typically go to lower cost of living countries because most world schoolers are hanging out there, and we do this for social reasons. We want to hang out with them as well. And sometimes there's world school hubs that we like to visit. So, but this summer, we decided we wanted to go to the UK because compared to the rest of Europe and lots of other countries, it's not as hot, although it is. Seriously, I'm sweating right now. It's 75 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what, 20, 22 degrees Celsius, and it's too hot for me. I'm from Seattle. Anyway, so we decided to start pet sitting. I've interviewed a couple world school families who have pet sit, and they gave me tips, and then I just wanted to share the tips. And I've learned a lot over the last few months about pet sitting and house sitting, so I wanted to share everything with you guys. And look below for my coupon code, which I mentioned, which will give you a 25% discount, and then I get 2 more months free. It's an annual membership. So anyway, the way it works is you use this website, Trusted House Sitters, and let me share my screen. Again, there are other websites, but this is the biggest one. And then, you can find a pet sitter or find a house sit. So this is kind of a Match.com for house owners, house and pet owners and pet sitters. Anyway, you create an account, and I guess I already have one. And then there are options to have 3 different settings. I just did the basic sitter. It's $129 US a year, and it provides unlimited house sits worldwide. For $40 extra, I guess you can have free video calls and online chat with vets when pet sitting, alerts, other things, accident and third-party liability plan. So, and then for the premium, you get like airport lounge passes. Oh, also sit cancellation plan. So if you have confirmed to sit and the owner decides for some reason to cancel on you at the last minute, Trusted House Sitters will pay for hotel rooms for you, because sometimes it's a pain when you fly to a country to do some pet sits and then it cancels and then you're kind of out, right? You're kind of stuck. Anyway, so there's also a combined option. Obviously, there's an option for being a house owner, pet owner. I'm not privy to that right now because I signed up on the sitter side, but then you can do a combined. So for a little bit more money, you can you can list your house and pet sit, and then you can also sit other people's pets. Does that make sense? So anyway, check this out, and then I will be sharing my referral code for friends and family to get a 25% discount. Okay, so how it works is it's a nice exchange. You're not supposed to be exchanging money. Sometimes if you have a really long sit, 3 months, 6 months, a year, because some people have homes around the world and they need a long-term sitter, they may ask you to pay for electricity, utilities, because they don't want you to crank the heat or the AC all year. That sometimes happens, but usually there's no exchange for of money. Everyone just gets the membership through Trusted House Sitters, and then you go here. So typically, I mean, what I do is I put in, I mean, you could put anywhere. And as you see, actually, let me try to zoom in if I can. Oopsie. The UK, you see, is there's 3.5 thousand. And then the US has, oh gosh, now I got to count this up. It also has thousands and thousands. I don't want to save this search. Yeah, so the US has over 4,000. Okay, but look at South America, only 1 in Chile. Africa, only 11. So it's not as popular in other parts of the world. Australia, 182. Now, these are sits that are available on the platform right now as it is. But what you can do is you can pick, let's just pick Europe. And then you want to go for, we want to go for the month of, let's say the whole month of July. Let's just see what's available in Europe in July. So you'll see here that, there's a bunch of different sits. And let's say we want to go to France. There's only 4 in France for the month of July. And this is where they're located. Okay. And so you click on one of these, read the little thing and, oh gosh, I wouldn't do this. This is only for 1 day. No, they should just get a neighbor to help. Let's pick this one. And I have not checked these in advance. I'm just randomly picking. And obviously I'm busy with another sit, but you see pictures of the house and then pictures, hopefully, of the pet. This is only 1 dog. And then they'll give a little introduction, a little bit about the house and amenities and responsibilities. And I always try to get ones that already have reviews from other pet sitters. And I make sure that they're good reviews because obviously you want a good house, nice house that's clean and, a nice dog that's not going to be aggressive and whatnot. So it just, just like reading Airbnb reviews, I read these reviews before deciding. Okay, so that's what you do. And then let me just show you my profile. And there's also a dashboard. Okay, and I have an inbox, which I'll show you in a second. So I have these upcoming sits. I have 7 total in the UK. And then these are ones I've done previously. And I did 3 sits in Washington State where I live to have my girls and I try it out and, get a feel for pet sitting and see if we liked it, which we did, and to get reviews. We wanted to get hopefully 5-star reviews. So we did 3 local sits and all of them were either like a couple days or a few days. And then one of them in Kirkland was for 9 days, but it was during my girls' spring break. So that's what we did. We went to Kirkland, Washington for spring break, which is like an hour away from where we live. So these are the ones that we have coming up. And we did one a little north of London. And this is not an exciting town, Milton Keynes. My friends from England joke about it. But it was a really good place, a quiet place for us to get over jet lag. And we did the sit like 2 days after we arrived in the country. So we have these ones coming up and these are the dates. And I do keep them also listed in my own little Excel spreadsheet. And because, I have reminders to book hotels in a certain town and then, what time we have to arrive for the pet sit on what day. And we're in the UK for about 11 weeks, actually UK for 10 weeks and Ireland for a week, but the whole summer we're in this area. So I just have things color coded and just, like orange is for hotels and this turquoise is for the pet sits. I also have the pet sits down here. I usually list the address here as well, but I'm not going to share it on social media or on YouTube right now. Anyway, so I just have our plans here and just like, just reminders of what time we need to arrive or late. If I know that information, the yellow means I still have to book hotels. So we do have to book hotels in between some sits. We're also staying with friends and cousins and such, but I've got 49 days of pet sits. And I kind of figured if we're renting an Airbnb for a week, and we typically try to do a pet sit for a week. But if I'm booking an Airbnb for a week, it works out to about 100 US, maybe a little more. I mean, a lot more in London. So that's basically $100 a day. And 49 sits, I mean, $4,900 I'm saving on accommodations. So I don't have to pay for accommodations to, I could stay in this house for free with my kids, and then they don't have to pay for a professional pet sitter or put their pets in a kennel or a cattery. I guess that's what you call where you put pets or cats. And so it's a nice win-win, exchange. Okay, so anyway, I just have it here. I have other planning documents of traveling around the UK. But so then it's listed here as well. And, this is the house we're at now. And actually you could see the living room is the same as what's behind me. It's true. And that's a little dog that you met earlier. So this is where we're staying. And the little kitchen. It's about 45 minutes south of London. So it's not a huge flat, but it's good enough for us. And that's Eddie who you met earlier. Okay, so anyway, they describe the house and the pet and the responsibilities. And I also hopefully get a welcome guide. Now, not all pet owners will do it, but it's really handy because they list just details about the house, what they have, so I need to know whether or not they have a washing machine or a dryer. Here, they don't have a dryer, so we just hang things. And then just, if something happens with the electricity or if the water main needs to be closed, all this kind of stuff as a house sitter. I'm not just doing the pet sitting. And then, what day of the week the garbage gets picked up. They call it refuse here. And just where the cleaning products are and the Hoover. And just instructions about the house and how the dog is allowed everywhere and all the stuff, Wi-Fi information, yada, yada. And then there's also info on the pet and, just what time of day he likes to eat and, how often to take him for walks and his health and if he needs any medication and what his personality is like. And they said they want to try to keep him away from really excitable younger kids and big dogs and things like that, likes and dislikes. And by the way, I did have a Zoom meeting with most of the people I think all of the people we had to sit with. So this is just a backup. But we have a Zoom before they choose me and who their vet is, emergency contact info, et cetera. And they're nice enough to even say, like where to go shopping for groceries and also their favorite restaurants and pubs and such. Okay, so this is what it looks like once you get the sit. But I wanted to show you my profile. So here I have, my name, my little title is World Traveling Mom, not Mom, and 15-year-old twins would love to take care of your pets. So you want something kind of catchy. And then I posted 12 photos of me and my girls, almost all of them with a pet or more. And just to show like the experience we have, pet sitting. And so here, I kind of wish they would have the about section up there, but they have the experience section first. And I did have a couple pets as a child. And, I just listed a little bit about that and how I've just been busy and haven't had a chance to own pets. But we love pets, and Trusted House Sitters is perfect for us because we love traveling and we love pets, and it's our way to get our pet fix. And then we listed all the different dogs I've either owned, dogs or cats or birds that I owned, and then whatnot. So these are our reviews, and this is the one we did in Milton Keynes. And then, so now Trusted House Sitters have these categories where we rate them and they rate us. Okay, so you want to try to get 5-star reviews for everything. And this lady was so nice. She was the first pet sit we did and just wrote such a wonderful review for us. And I'll explain to you how to try to get the good reviews. And then before I even got a review, I got references from some of my friends, some of my Worldschool friends, and high school friends and anyone that would kind of write a character reference for me. And then in addition, you can connect it to your Airbnb profile and LinkedIn profile. And I do encourage people to, I think at the top, to check out those. While we're fairly new on Trusted Housesitters, we have excellent references on Airbnb and whatnot. Okay, so again, make sure to, if before you have reviews, to try to get character references, or if you've done any pet sitting in the past, ask them if they'll make a post a reference for you. Just you'll send them the link for that. Okay. And then let's see, we have a little about me, and we just tell our story about we're a world traveling family, and we've been, here and there, and we love, pets and yada, yada. And also you list, the preferred countries where you want to sit. I mean, you can put all over the world. Usually we pet sitters first make the first move and reach out to the pet owners, but sometimes they reach out to us. That's why the countries is good. Okay, so that's my profile, and I've actually copied and pasted everything on a Word document, and I will put the link beneath this video so you can copy and paste it and hopefully make changes and make it your own. But, I've kind of done a bit of research about what kind of stuff to put in there. And yes, my profile is long, but it's good to have good information there. I've also put my example letter that I send to people. I put a highlight here because you definitely want to put the owner's name and the name of their pets and the date you want to sit. I should probably bold that here. And then instead of saying they, he, she, I mean, you got to fix that on the whole message. So even though my profile has a lot of information, I really try to put in a good amount of information in here. If there's something about their pet, like, oh, I love Huskies, or I used to own a black lab, you just make it personal. Okay. So I just copy and paste this. And I also at the bottom say, I'd love to talk to you more about house sitting. Here's my Calendly link. And I have a special one just for this. So when you click on this, then it'll say, I look forward to talking to you about pet sitting. Okay, here, this is all just about pet sitting, this specific Calendly link. And I think at the time, the reason why I have weekends is my girls were in school. So I would say, if you want to meet with me, pick any time. Otherwise, if you want to meet with my teen girls, then choose a weekend time slot, because at the time they were in school. Okay, so try to make it easy for them. And yeah, so I will copy and paste that there. So what I do again is I go to, a place. Let's say I want to go to the United Kingdom, and I want to go, whatever, the first week of August. Let's just say that. Let's just see what they have. And again, you can zoom in if you, a certain area, but let's say we want to go to Birmingham area. And you can also say you only want to be in cities or the countryside. I mean, but my big thing is we need high-speed Wi-Fi, and I need access to public transport. Now, I am renting a car for one pet sit in the Scottish Borders area, because they're in a rural area, and we're going to stop by the Lake District anyway. But we definitely want to usually, use public transportation. So anyway, so these, also the pets, we basically do all pets except for we don't do horses or livestock. I don't have any experience with that. So then you click apply. And you can sort by the newest. I mean, if you've been on this for a while, you might have seen them all. You can favorite them, but I wish there was a way that you can say no. So I've been, because sometimes I forget, I already read that one, and that definitely will not work for us. But anyway, so let's just click on this one. I mean, hopefully, or you can just click on, let's say in Bristol. These are in Bristol. So this looks like a nice house here. And then, you just look through it and see if you want it. Now, I don't pick houses, pet sits that require a lot of care for the animals. I won't, pick one where the animal needs to be fed 3 times a day and walked 3, 4 times a day. We want easy sits because we're traveling. Now, I didn't mind doing these more difficult sits when we were in our home base when I was trying to get reviews. We took care of a husky who needed 2 hours of walks a day. And I think there was another one who needed to be fed 3 times a day. Anyway, we did that then, but we don't do it now because we want our days free to go out and about. And actually, oddly, Eddie, who we're taking care of now, doesn't like to be left alone for more than 4 hours. He'll bark, and the neighbors don't like that. So I did get permission from the owner to take him out with us. And we didn't do it all the time, but we would do it if we knew that, like we were going to take one bus, it wasn't a complicated ride. And we were going to be outdoors and, whatever, doing stuff outside and having a picnic or, we'd find an outdoor restaurant or something. So that's what we did. But other times when we went to a museum, we could not take him. We made sure that one of us came back within 4 hours not so much because he needed to go out and pee, but because, he would bark and bother the neighbors. Okay, so again, they have a 5-bedroom house. Another thing, again, if you have kids, you're going to want to look for a larger house. Now, you do say that you have children in your profile, and you can choose the age range of your children. Some pet owners are fine with young kids, and some are not. So I wanted to make sure for us personally, I use the word teens and 15-year-old responsible, independent teens who love pets and are very good at walking them. And I usually do the feeding, but my kids can do that. So that's, and I really sell that there's 3 of us to love on your 1 pet, your 3 pets, however many pets you have. Again, I don't choose ones with lots of pets, but 1, 2, 3 would be fine. And so we even got complimented on one of our reviews, 3 for the price of 1, basically. But some people don't have a big house. They don't have all the bedrooms. Some people only want you to sleep in their guest room, not in the master bedroom or their kids' room or whatever. But, a lot of these pet sits, they're families and they're going on holiday, they're going on vacation, and they don't mind a family coming in and taking care of their pets. And again, they would rather have the pets stay home in the environment that they're used to and, versus going to a kennel or something, which is much more stressful. So anyway, so just, read through all of this. And if you like it, and again, this is important, feed both animals at least twice a day. And then, twice a day for 30 minutes, that's fine. Oh, this is a cat. The cats are much easier. Some cats, they have a cat flap. So they go out to the garden or somebody else's garden to do their business, and you don't have a litter box to clean. Anyway, and this also shows, the town that they're in. So they're a little south of Bristol, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, so if I wanted this one, and obviously they won't let me because I'm busy with another sit. Maybe I need to pick one. Let me pick a date when we're not there. So let's just do September. Let me just pick any random thing and let's just pretend like we like this. Okay, so then I click apply now. What I do is I copy and paste it on my Word document, make the changes there to make sure I have the owner's name, Stefan, and then I make sure that I have the pet's name, Radley, and it's a him. So I make sure to say he, him, that kind of stuff. And once I have the letter ready here, I will copy and paste it here and then send the application. Okay. And then what happens is it gets into the inbox. And there used to be a way to label these. I mean, you can archive messages, but there used to be, and I would say, I had a label like applied versus confirmed, and also South England versus Scotland versus, I kind of did that. So when I looked at my inbox, but they recently redesigned the inbox, so you can't look at the whole thing. Anyway, so here, for example, Nicole, I sent her my message. Hi, Nicole, my teen daughters and I would love to take care of you, blah, 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 on these dates. I adore pugs. You're great, fluffy. I mean, you just make compliments, right? And then let's see. So I think at the time we didn't have very many reviews. So I just said, we just completed a sit. It went great, yada yada. And I also did say to Google my name because I'm on social media and I have a internet presence, and I just want them to know, even though I don't have a lot of reviews, I have a good online reputation. So do what you can. And let's see. Yeah, and then I also say we're happy to get a chance to see your area, but don't worry, we're not mad tourists, which we're not. I mean, we're not the type of family to go out and about 10 hours a day. So we just want to spend half the day, and I have to work, and my kids just don't want to be out all the time. So anyway, so she said, great. And I think we had a Zoom meeting, and then Nicole offered the sit. Okay, so it's not enough to just have a little email chat. They have to formally offer you the sit through the platform, and then you formally have to agree. Once you agree, you're committed. And I think the owner can cancel on you. And again, if you don't like that, then get the premium membership. If not, just be okay to wing it, get another hotel or Airbnb or find another pet sit if you have enough time. But I think if you cancel on them, it's bad for your profile. I don't know. I've been told not to do it. Okay. So anyway, after we confirmed it, I would check in with her from time to time. So I just let her know we made it to the UK. I also include my WhatsApp. Some people want to communicate that way. Although if there's anything hairy that happens, you should always have the conversation via the platform, just so Trusted House Sitters is in the loop about that. Okay, same thing with Airbnb. All right, anyway, so we just have a conversation here talking about exactly what time to arrive, and she's being nice enough to make lunch for us. I mean, this has happened quite a bit. Like they have dinner ready for us. And then sometimes if I can, I'll bring like a little treat or a little gift or something from my home country. And I don't have a lot of luggage space because we're trying to be carry-on only. One pet sit we did, the lady got a brand new air fryer. And she hadn't even used it yet. So she told me I can use it while she was on her holiday. So I started using it because I know how to use them. And then I was like, oh, she doesn't have any tongs. She really should have silicone tongs. So I went out the next time I was in town and bought one for her as a gift. It was 10 pounds, 15 pounds or whatever. So that was my gift to her. And I bought wrapping paper. So when she came home, I had my little thank you card, thank you note with the little wrapped gift for her, and let her know, thank you for letting me use your brand new air fryer. I think these silicone tongs would be helpful for you, yada, yada. Okay, so it's nice to have a little gift or a treat for them because sometimes they do the same for you. I know some people will actually have a meal ready for the people if they're getting home late, which is a very nice thing to do. I don't know. If I did that, I would let them know because they might just try to grab some takeaway food on the way home from the airport. You never know. But whatever. It's just, if you want to leave some meal for them, that would be nice. So you apply for the sit, they accept, you communicate with them, and everything is taken care of through this platform. You can also make a list of favorites. My pet sits are listed here. And what else? Oh, there's also a forum, which is really nice. Basically, pet owners and sitters, they often will have nice little, conversations for very different things. So I advise you to take a look at the forum. And I think you can look at the forum before you join Trusted House Sitters and at least read them. I don't think you can post yet or ask questions until you are a paying member. And as I mentioned, use my coupon code for a 25% discount. Another thing is Trusted House Sitters has a new policy where after 5 applications from potential pet sitters, they close the option for others to apply until the pet owner either chooses one of the 5 who applied or starts rejecting some of them to free up, space for more people to apply. This is really controversial because there's been people who have been with Trusted House Sitters for years and they have dozens, maybe hundreds of reviews, and they're very experienced. And typically they're the ones who get chosen, right? If the pet owner gets 20, 30, 40, 50 applications. But I guess Trusted House Sitters wants to make it easier for newbies like us to have a chance to apply. And it's basically the fastest 5 get considered, unless, again, the pet owner feels like none of them work out. And it's kind of interesting because we're new, and I apply to sits that have kind of been out there for a week or so, and they've had other people apply, and especially when I see 4 people have applied and I really want it, I'll apply really fast before it goes. And yeah, they'll say, out of all the people, the 5 people who applied, we like yours the best. So I don't know what the other pet sitters look like. I mean, maybe you can go check out some of the other pet sitter profiles. But I don't know. Some people like that I'm bringing in kids. Some people like that there's 3 of us. Some people, I don't know, they like our story. I have no idea why they choose us over other people. I do know that a lot of people who pet sit are retired couples or retired people. There are some people who this is their full-time thing. They work online and they just constantly travel, and they're either digital nomads, or I know of a YouTuber. She lives in Denver, Colorado, and she just has her car and her belongings in her car and is constantly pet sitting just around Denver. So some people do it just to save money on accommodations. I mean, I guess you could do it if you have a job, like a physical in-person job, but then obviously the pet owner wants you there at least the morning and the evening and not be gone all day. So anyway, again, digital nomads, world schoolers, it's a perfect situation for us, especially those of us who slow travel. We're not mad tourists. And I do think it's kind of weird that Trusted House Sitters, they have advertising and it's all about like, oh, get to travel the world and do a little pet sitting. And it makes it sound like, go on holiday, go on vacation for a week and go to Paris and have a free place to stay. But, most people who go to Paris for a week, they want to go out and hit every single thing in Paris on their bucket list. And for world schoolers and digital nomads, we tend to not experience a city like that or a place in the same way as a tourist. We tend to slow down. And I think that's advantageous for pet sitters because they know that we're not going to be mad tourists. Anyway, so if you are applying to a popular location like London or Barcelona or other places, and you see a pet sit come up, and it looks good to you, apply as soon as possible. Do not delay, because especially in the popular cities, they get snatched up really quickly. Once 5 people apply, then the pet owner, they may just choose one of those 5 applicants, unless, I don't know, there's something that they're looking for. And some pet owners are pickier than others, and others are like, they'll just choose the first person who applies. So be quick on the draw. Okay, I want to just share some possible questions to ask the pet owner during your meet and greet Zoom or phone call. First, confirm the dates, because sometimes they will post some dates, and then after I talk to them, they'll say, oh no, we want you to arrive the day before, or whatever, because we want to host you one night to get to know you and give you a tour of the house and give you a tour of our village, all of that. So just make sure you find out what time you should arrive, and then find out when they will arrive back to their house, and whether they want you to stay until they arrive, or if you could leave that morning, and just make sure, the pets went out to use the garden or whatever and had a walk, and you fed them. I mean, because sometimes you can obviously leave pets alone for a little bit. So find out that, because sometimes they may want to have a changeover conversation. Okay, I always ask about the Wi-Fi because I work online. Is it unlimited? Ask them about that. Sometimes I ask, hey, we're not smokers, so is your house a non-smoking house? Which is what I prefer. Ask if they have a welcome guide, a house or pet manual that they'll post on Trusted House Sitters. Sometimes people will have it written out at home, but I really like to see it in advance. And sometimes if they're kind of new to the platform, they might not have it when they book you, but hopefully a week or so before you start the sit. And let's see, ask about the pet's routine. Is there a schedule? Is there a certain time of day that they want to eat or go out for walks? How many hours can you be away from the pets? And I do tell them we're often homebodies, but we do like to go out once in a while. So how long can we leave your pets home while we're out? And let's see, so ask how the dogs would be out and about on a leash. And are they good on the walk? Are they aggressive with other animals? Have they ever bitten any animals? Are they okay with strangers walking down the street? Because again, some breeds are very protective, and once they bond with you, you're the person that they're protecting. Where do the pets sleep? Now, sometimes they have their own little pet bed, and it might be downstairs or in the kitchen, and sometimes they are used to sleeping in the master bedroom bed. So, or wherever with you. So you need to find that out. And if you're not okay with the pet sleeping in your bed, don't accept that sit. Let's see. Any medications, dietary needs? Are the pets allowed outside in the yard, the garden? Do you want us to do any extra work in the garden or any yard work? And, during the summer, they may want you to water the plants and turn the sprinkler on or whatever it is. So make sure you know what you're getting into. Now, I have asked a couple times about this. I ask if there's cameras inside the house. I obviously don't mind that they're outside the house, but inside, I just want to know where, because I have teen daughters and I want to make sure that they're not in the bedrooms or obviously the bathroom. I don't know. I only asked this a couple of times, and then I figured I was being kind of paranoid. But if you want to ask this question, go ahead. And it's actually against Trusted House Sitters policy to have internal cameras, but do ask if you care about that. Let's see, ask if anyone's coming over, like housekeepers or their gardener or their adult children or a handyman. Ask them what to expect. Get emergency numbers in case something happens to, if the plumbing breaks or something. Find out where you sleep. Again, sometimes they don't mind you sleeping in their beds. Other times they have a guest room. And this is why we've been turned down sometimes, because people are used to having a single person or a couple pet sit, and there's 3 of us in our family. So that means an extra bed or a sofa. My kids don't mind sleeping on a sofa, but usually I have them sleep together and I'm the separate one. Ask about, if it gets hot, do you have air conditioning? I mean, just, ask those kind of basic questions. Can we cook meat? Maybe they're a vegetarian household. Again, these are a lot of questions and you may not want to ask them all, but, can we use your olive oil and salt, and what can we use? If we use a lot of it, we will replace it. What appliances do you have? I mean, frankly, the ones that we had in Washington State, I brought my own blender and my little espresso machine, this mini espresso machine, because they didn't have it and I just wanted to bring it and I had my car. Let's see, ask also about public transportation. And they might not give you your address during the Zoom call, but just find out like the neighborhood where they live. So then you can look to see if you could easily get there with public transportation. And if not, then you're going to have to rent a car and you may not want to do that. And sometimes the owners will provide you their car. But I did find out that in the UK, Americans cannot get insurance for other people's cars. So even though I was offered by a couple people to use their car, I kind of told them, from what I understand, it's a real hassle and I'm not going to drive your car. Thank you. Anyway, ask if you should arrive in advance. Do they want you to come the night before or the morning of or the afternoon before they leave? What date should you arrive and what date should you leave? And how long are they going to spend with you on training you about their house and the pet? And again, I have been to house sits where we just did this all via Zoom and their house manual, and I never even met them in person. I just showed up. They had either a security code to get in or the key under the mat. And we just went in and we never met them in person, either at the beginning or the end. But sometimes they do want to meet you in person and have you spend the night. And, I don't know. I like, if they hate you, or what are they gonna do? Kick you out and not go on their holiday? But anyway, it depends on the person, right? Let's see. So find out, how long's the training? I mean, the one we're on now, she wanted us to show up 15 minutes before they were going to take their car to the airport. So some people don't need a lot of time to kind of show you around. Also, how often do they want you to communicate with them during their trip? I like to send quick little messages and maybe a picture or two of what we're doing that day with the pet, or just the pet sitting on my kid's lap, just to say, hey, Eddie's doing great. We're giving him, 3 walks a day, whatever, he's having a great time hanging out with us and the girls, and we took him out today. I mean, just quick messages. And so for this owner, she just said every couple of days is fine. Also, I let her know that the garbage wasn't picked up, and it seemed that a few other houses' garbage, because I looked, wasn't picked up. Because at first I was like, oh no, what did I do wrong? But I think there's an issue with the garbage company. So I let her know about that, just so she can anticipate that when she gets home. Let's see. So, and then find out how to communicate with you, because the other owner, she was saying, oh, we'll just text each other. But then she wasn't getting my text because she went to Italy and we were in the UK. So luckily I had her email address. And so I emailed her and she had that on her phone and we communicated that way. So find out, if it's SMS, if they're in the same country, or WhatsApp or email. Let's see. Also ask if you're allowed visitors or not. I hesitate about asking that one because, I had some friends visiting us in Kirkland for that sit to just go for a walk. And I told the owner, oh, my friends are going to come by. They'll park outside your house and we're going for a walk. I'm not going to let them in. And she said, absolutely let them come in. You guys can hang out, order a pizza, whatever. I was like, wow. And then another pet sit that I applied for, it was in the mountains, and my cousin John wanted to come and go hiking with us that day. So I asked him, hey, do you mind if my cousin John comes up and meets us and we go hiking, and would he be able to come in to use the restroom, or afterwards we have a meal together? And an hour later, she canceled the sit with me. And I don't know, I mean, she said something came up, but I don't know if I scared her off by saying that I was bringing, my cousin was coming. And, I had a criminal background check on me as a pet sitter, but my cousin did not. So I don't know if that scared her off. So I now try not to have any visitors. And if we meet up with friends, we meet them outside the house if possible. Let's see. Also, who is allowed in the home? Like maybe the neighbor comes by and wants to come in, or maybe their adult child comes in and they're like, want to come in. I mean, are they allowed or not? So that kind of stuff. Make sure to take notes during your Zoom with the pet owner. It's not enough to just ask the questions, but write down their answers because you might forget later. I typically type them on Google Docs, and I just always have it there next to all my pet sit kind of stuff, just because you might be applying months before the sit and you might forget all the details when the sit comes. Some other tips: when you apply, try to write a personalized letter. Don't just, I know I have a form letter, but I try to tweak it a little. Try to have a Zoom call or a phone call. I would never take a pet sit without talking to them first, especially if they don't have any reviews. And I know I started off not having any reviews, and I did my best to really sell us that we're a great family that will take great care of your pets. But I don't know, just like Airbnbs, I would make sure that we have a conversation and a Zoom. And sometimes in the Zoom, they could show the house and you can make sure it's not a pigsty, I have heard, 90 some percent, 95%, 99% of pet sits I've heard have gone really well, but there's a small percentage of, houses that are much dirtier than the photos. And, or maybe the animals are more aggressive than they're supposed to be. So I always just try to have a Zoom and obviously read the reviews. See if you could get to town early. Again, it's hard when you have, you're traveling around the country and, that's what I'm trying to coordinate. I want to make sure I'm there soon enough for the pet owner, but also, we are paying for a hotel the night before somewhere and we get to check out at 10, 11 a.m. And does the owner need us there at 8 a.m.? I will do it if necessary, but just, coordinate that, figure that out. Yeah, having a long profile is okay. You can join various Facebook groups for house sitting. I've heard of one called House Sitting World. There's also a House Sitting Magazine Facebook group. Try not to do house sits that are way too much work. It should be a fair exchange. You know, you're giving them free pet sitting and house sitting, and, you know, making sure somebody's home, so, you know, burglars don't come, and picking up their mail and whatever. And, you know, you're getting free accommodation. So it needs to be a fair exchange. Again, during the Zoom meeting that you have, just, you know, ask them questions and listen to your gut, but do be of service. Try to go above and beyond, because remember, you want that 5-star review. Try to look for laid back homeowners. You know, not like super neurotic, intense homeowners that have like really rigid, huge list of rules. Let's see, during the pet sit, again, take pictures and videos of the pets, share them with the owner via WhatsApp or whatever. If you're posting on social media, ask them permission to post their pet on social media. Might be a good idea to take a picture of the whole house to make sure you put the house back together the way it was, especially the fridge. I do that for the fridge as well. You just want to make sure also that if there's any damage in the house, any big scratches, that you take a picture before, so they don't later accuse you of damaging it. You never know. Again, ask what you can use in the kitchen, and let them know if you use a lot of it that you'll buy them more. I mean, some homeowners are like, they buy you food. You know, they're like so grateful that you're there. Others leave you a completely empty fridge, which is fine, because, you know, they don't know what kind of food that I need. And, you know, I don't know, some people have certain diets. A lot of times they'll have milk, or they'll have some perishables. So, you know, ask them, should I eat up this XYZ and drink the milk, and I'll buy you a new one before you return. So have that conversation like during the changeover or in the Zoom meeting. So yeah, I typically try to replace their brand of milk that I found there. And other times, you know, I mean, we did a pet sit with somebody who had a lot of expired food. And she had a fridge in the garage. So she didn't leave us a lot of space in the kitchen fridge. So we kind of moved stuff to the garage fridge and then replaced it and made it look exactly the way she left it. But we needed space for our stuff in the fridge. See if there's neighbors that they want you to keep in touch with because of an emergency. I haven't really done that. But they'll say, oh, go to this house, you know, if there's an issue. You can offer to do extra things like weeding. Let's see, conserve electricity in the hot water. If they get mail in, stack it in the order that they got it. Maybe put the junk mail separately. Stay on top of the cleaning. We always do a big clean before they arrive. The pet owners that we have now are coming back tomorrow morning, like for some reason really early. I think they have a super early flight from Turkey. So we're going to do all the cleaning tonight and then have everything packed tonight. So when they come home, and we're going to make a really simple breakfast and not mess up their kitchen, and take our showers tonight and stuff, and do a wash of their towels tonight. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to wake up and strip the beds and put them at least in the washer. And then they'll come home and we'll tell them, you know, it's in the wash and you can take over from there. Let's see, make sure the pets are groomed in the same way. I actually gave this dog a bath because he smelled like a dog. And so I just couldn't take it. So I had to give him a bath. If you break something, replace it. And then, yeah, so end of the sit, you know, maybe leave the pet owner a little gift, a little card, a little surprise, maybe a little meal, a pie, you know, maybe trim the hedges. I mean, just try to do a nice little favor. Again, you're trying to please them to get that 5-star review. Try to leave the house cleaner than when you found it. Again, wash the sheets and towels if you can. I think it also depends. I don't know if I'd leave a running washer without me in the house, because what happens if their hose breaks and their house gets flooded? So ask them about it, maybe about washing it. Like, should we just strip the beds and put them? Because what I like to do is I like to wash and dry, if they have a dryer, and remake the beds for them. That's what I like to do, because when they come home from their long trip, I want them to be able to, you know, crawl into their clean bed. If they do let you use their car, refill it with gas and wash it. Replace any groceries that you use, wash and brush the dogs. This is a combination of my advice and other advice I've heard online. Somebody said to be out of the house before they return. It depends. It's up to them. Ask them, like, do you want us out before you return? I would kind of want to make sure they come back and their flight hasn't been delayed, and that, you know, the dog's not by himself, or the cat or whatever. Let's see. If you do leave before them, maybe leave them a turnover note. And, maybe you had to change a light bulb or something. One person advised staying at a hotel nearby in case they had questions. I've never done that. Again, just make sure that their flight hasn't been delayed. Somebody put together a little cute video of the pet and with the pet sitter with the pet, or made a photo collage. I mean, this is above and beyond. I've never done any of that. Somebody said, oh, I picked some food from their garden and made them a tomato salad or something. I've never done that. Somebody has left a box of chocolates on their pillows. I've never done that, but make sure that the dogs can't eat it because chocolate's bad for dogs. If you use their expensive olive oil, then maybe replace it or buy them a gift card from that grocery store. Again, fill up the fridge like they left it for you. Replace if you've used a lot of it. I mean, I'm not going to buy them a whole thing of salt that I used a little bit. I recently bought more toilet paper, just even though it's not a big deal, I was like, I don't think they want to come back to from their trip with only one roll of toilet paper. So I made sure to get more. Yeah, just go further than the homeowner expects and don't take advantage of their generosity. I have heard some pet sitters have drunk all the alcohol in somebody's house, or invited people over and partied and, trashed the place. I mean, obviously these people are not on the platform for long because they get kicked off. But just make sure you don't do anything weird. I did have a pet owner who told me all of our sits have been great, but I did have this one pet sitter who wasn't answering her phone and we had to return home sooner. She wasn't answering. And then we came home and the house was okay, but there was 5, 6 wine bottles on the kitchen counter and she was passed out in the room. And the pet was okay, but obviously the person had a drinking problem. And so, just try not to take advantage of their hospitality and be responsible and make sure the pets are your first priority. And then after it's done, ask them for a great reference. I mean, I would usually send them a note, like if we were leaving an hour or two before they arrive, we're leaving now, we're going to be taking the train to London. We had a great sit. Billy is such an adorable cat. We really enjoyed, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And we will make sure to give you a 5-star review tomorrow. And we hope that we earn the same from you. That's kind of the message that I leave people. And then give them a review quickly. The way it works on Trusted House Sitters is you both review each other and you can't see each other's review until you've both posted. And that they're doing it like Airbnb does it. And that is because if you give them a bad review, you don't want them to retaliate and give you a bad review. So they're supposed to be honest reviews. But yeah, so if they don't review quickly, then maybe in a week, ping them and just say, hey, I know you've been really busy, but we would really appreciate a review. We're new to Trusted House Sitters and we're trying to do more sits and your review would be so important, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so anyway, I hope these tips are helpful for you. We're on a 5th sit and we have 6 more, I think, 5, 6 more around the UK. We are doing this annual membership and we're gonna hopefully do it for longer. And maybe for spring break, we'll go somewhere in the States. I don't know. There's a huge need for pet sits during Christmas, the holidays. And yeah, but I don't know, like we're probably not going to do it that time of year or Thanksgiving because we like to be with our family then. But just so you know, if you want to go to Hawaii or someplace for Christmas, you might get that opportunity. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful to you. Please put in the chat below any questions that you have. And if I need to do a follow-up, I will do so. And yeah, follow me on Facebook, send me a friend request. I post there more regularly than elsewhere. And if you haven't already joined my Facebook group, Worldschooling, Traveling, Digital Nomad, Trailblazing Families. And I have a whole bunch of interviews of other experienced world schoolers and service providers there. I also run a 12-week course 3 times a year on how to travel extensively as a family and how to world school. 7 out of the 12 weeks is on the education part of how your kids can get a fantastic education, much better than staying in the traditional education system by world schooling. And again, my kids and I have been doing it for most of the last 8 years. We literally know hundreds of other world schooling families, and we know some grown world schoolers, and they are doing fantastic. I think it's a really amazing way to live and learn and explore and have adventures and have an amazing life. So reach out to me. My email is lizz@trailblazingfamilies.com. So reach out if you want to get in touch. Thanks. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm Lizz Quain. My twins and I have been traveling and world schooling for about 7 years, and I'm happy to share our experiences. Make sure to check out all the other videos on my channel. I have a playlist of interviews of fascinating world school families and service providers who share lots of info and wisdom about world schooling, traveling, and the digital nomad family lifestyle. If you're new to world schooling or have recently launched and are struggling because you're kind of winging it, if you need some help, I do have a super comprehensive 12-week program on how to world school and travel extensively as a family. I share lots of info on travel logistics, where to go, how to find community, how to immerse yourself into local cultures, and the variety of ways to educate your kids while traveling above and beyond homeschooling them yourself, and much, much more. Make sure to watch my free 2-hour masterclass on how to become a world schooling trailblazing family. That is a great way to learn how to get started. I'll include a link in the description with more info. Thanks and happy trails.